Thank you for joining us today on Coffee With. My guest today is David McDonald. David, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
I know you stay busy, so I don't even know how you managed to get down here.
Well, we were doing tax equalization hearings, and I stepped out and I told them I'd be back in a little while.
It's something very important to take care of.
Very important.
That's
very
right.
important.
Now, you're on the Board of Supervisors.
That's correct.
You're District 1 Supervisor.
That's correct.
How long have you been doing that?
11 and a half years. This is my third term.
And what did you do before you became a supervisor?
I worked for Sears for a while I was in high school and college, and then I got in the auto repair business after I graduated from college, and was in that for about 30 years. I had shops in Vicksburg, Natchez, Jackson, and Greenville.
Wow.
So
I'm sure that kept you very busy.
it did. I stayed on the road quite a bit.
I'm sure you did. Now, are you a Vicksburg guy?
Right. Originally from Vicksburg. Matter of fact, I live on the property that I was born on. I inherited my father's house and my grandfather's house, and I have those for rental property. And we built a house on the property about 1978. So.
Wow. Now, what about your wife? Is she from here?
She is originally from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. We met in college and married between my junior and senior year in college, and we've got 2 children and 5 grandchildren.
Wow. Now, are all of them here in this area?
No, my daughter lives here. She's married to David Brewer. She's an attorney with Wheeler, Shapley, Bayless, and Rector, and she has 2 boys, 9 and 5. And my son lives in Houston. Well, he lives in Fringewood. It's a suburb of Houston. He works for NASA. I tell everybody he's a rocket scientist. And
is he really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's got a degree in aerospace engineering from Mississippi State, and he's been in. He graduated from college and went to work for NASA like a week after he graduated from college. So he's been out there since '91, I think.
Well, you've got some smart kids.
I attribute that to their mother. She read to them a lot.
That's the right thing to say, Dave.
She read to them a lot, and both of them still have a love for reading, and I think that got them where they are today.
Yeah.
Their love of reading.
It's so important, isn't it?
It is. We did a project with the school system. One of the first things that Liz Swinford did when she came here was. I think it's called Real People Read.
That's right.
And, we try to go to the schools and go to the library and read to the students and hopefully instill a love for reading in them, because that, if you can't read, you're just lost in today's world.
And it lays the foundation for everything else that they do in school.
That's right.
If you don't have good reading skills, you're going to struggle. Those children struggle with every other subject.
Right.
It's so important.
Yep.
So
that's
very
true.
important. Okay. Now, where did you go to college, and what's your degree in? And
Well, like I said, I'm originally, was born and raised here. Went to Warren Central. Went to Hines for 2 years. Went to Mississippi State for a year, and then transferred to Mississippi College and graduated there in 1971 got a BS in Business Administration and a minor in Economics.
well, no wonder you've had all this experience running businesses. And
That's where I really got my degree, running businesses for 30 years.
It'll do it to you, won't it?
Yep.
Now, David, you said you've been a supervisor for 11 years?
Yeah, 11 and a half years.
And you're running for re-election.
Right.
What are some of the things you've been able to accomplish in your district as supervisor in those 11 years?
We, of course, I guess the visible, what a lot of people judge a supervisor by is the number of roads we pave. And, we've been able to pave quite a few roads. There's a lot of state aid roads in the 1st District, which just simply means that the state pays for 85% of the cost of paving. All the county has to do is pay 15%. And we've gotten several of those paved. The northeastern part of the county, which is in District 1, is a lot of hills and hollows, and we have a lot of erosion problems. We probably spend more money on erosion control in the 1st District than we do on paving projects, simply because of the terrain out there. And we've been able to partner with NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Service, and it's the same way. It's a match. They do usually 85 to 90%, and we pick up the other 10 or 15%. And we've been able to do quite a few projects in the northeastern part of the county, and which protects our roadways. It doesn't do any good to pave a roadway if you've got a gully washing the road out.
Right.
So we have to take care of the erosion control.
I know a year or so ago, you and I had a discussion about a stretch of road that was particularly bothersome to me. And you told me that you were waiting on some bids, and you were hoping if that went through, you were going to be able to repair that part of the road. How does that whole process work?
Most of our bids are based on quantities, the tons of asphalt that it takes to repair a road. The engineer comes up with a set of specs, and then when we take bids on it, it depends on how much money we have. Most of our gaming money is put into one-time projects like paving projects. And I think the stretch you're talking about is on Tiffintown by the soccer fields there. That was a real bad stretch. And we were able to go in and overlay that small stretch because we have so many people from out of town coming in when we have soccer tournaments. And the first impression of the county, we wanted to make a good first impression, and so we were able to pave that small stretch. Hopefully, later on, when the economy gets a little better, we'll be able to pave the rest of it. But money is real tight. The federal government's broke, the state's broke, and we're not in a whole lot better shape. We're a lot better shape than a lot of the other counties, but we're still not in the best shape in the world. As I said earlier, we're in the tax equalization process now, and this is the first time when Rick Holland brought our tax rolls to us. He said this is the first time since he's been doing this that we've actually had a decrease in assessed valuation on property taxes. We had about a 1% decrease, so about $35 million decrease in our assessed value this year. So
that's a hit for the county government.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I said, it's about 1%, but it's still that's still 1%.
Yeah.
And
when you look at what the dollar amount is, it's
right.
You think 1%, oh, that's nothing, but when you look at the dollar amount, then it does look like more than nothing.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah. Is each district allocated a certain amount of dollars for roadways, or is it all just in one bucket? How do the pots of money work?
We're under what they call the unit system. At one time, all of the counties were under a beat system where each county supervisor had his own pot of money. He had his own employees, his own equipment, and he did all the work in his district based on a equal share of the money, which there was a lot of room for. I know you've probably heard about Operation Pretense that was like 20, 25 years ago. There was a lot of corruption. There were opportunities for corruption in that system, plus it was a lot of mismanagement of equipment. So Warren County went on the unit system back in the early 80s, I believe, late 70s, early 80s, and where we share equipment from district to district. We have a road manager who's over all the county roads, and he answers to the 5 members of the board, and that way we can share equipment, we share the work, and it just works out a lot better that way.
Better use of resources.
Right, a lot better use of resources. And a lot of people, they talk about how much their tax bill is on their home, but what a lot of people don't realize that about 55% of every dollar you pay in taxes goes to the school. And then when you factor in the court system, when you look at the court system, justice court, chancery court, circuit court, the detention center, the sheriff's office, and the jail, those take up about 18% of your budget. So about 78% of your budget, I always tell people 78% goes to kids and criminals. And but you know, education and you know, it's you know, it's a justifiable expense. I mean, if you know, our kids are our future, so we have to educate them. But you know, we have to operate the county on the other 22%, and about 6% of that actually goes to road maintenance for the entire county. So, you know, if you're paying a $2,000 tax bill on your home, you know, about what, $120 goes to road maintenance, and you know, that won't buy much asphalt in today's market.
No.
So.
Not much stretch of roadway.
Not much at all. That's true.
Well, when you're not dealing with taxes and worried about roadways and all that kind of stuff, what do you do for fun?
I like to hunt and fish. We have some property in Jefferson County, and I like to spend some time down there. We've got a deer camp down there. We've got a lake house at Lake Bruin. We try to get over there some, which we haven't been over a single time. We've been over a couple of times to check on it, but we hadn't been over to spend the night over there this year.
David, it's July.
I know.
You need to get over there.
I need to campaign too, though. That's kind of top priority on my list right now, is trying to campaign a little bit. But we try to travel to Houston to see my granddaughters out there. I've got 3 granddaughters out there, so we try to you know, go out there at least 3, 4, 5 times a year, and you know, that's it. You know, playing with my grandkids and hunting and fishing. I guess that's my 3 you know, fun things I do.
Well, I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know how busy y'all are. I see you around town at all the same meetings I'm in, and I know you have many more than that. So thank you for taking time out, and good luck in your run for supervisor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration provided by
Amber Sanders from Happy Hair. Get your hair happy at 3402 Wisconsin Avenue.